Our biggest regrets usually come from things we chose not to do. In my 4 years at Pulchowk Campus, one thing I still wish I had done, besides studying well from the beginning, is documenting our 10-day survey camp. As our final field tours are approaching, I did not want to have the same feeling again. But on our way back from our last tour in the near empty bus, I was left thinking, should I even make a video on this? Nothing happened. I was very close to ditching the idea about documenting those tours, but as I browsed through the photos and the clips, I felt that I could not let the memories stay confined to my folders, never to be seen or experienced by others. No matter how the final result would turn out, I had to make this. So, here we are, another tour. I remember being very excited about our tour of hydropower engineering. It was our 7th semester, but destructive rains and exams meant that we would have to wait. The first week of our 8th semester had almost gone by, and we were finally getting ready for it. The orange bus had become an old friend by this time. The roads made the bus ride feel like I was going back home. Seeing so many brown patches on green hills reminded me of the damage the monsoon rain had brought. The fact that we were even going on this tour was fortunate in many ways. For that, I was thankful. Turning along the roads, we got to Lamosanghu. Our stop after that was the Sunkoshi Hydropower Station. Before moving on to the powerhouse, we split into groups and observed the peaking pond. In my mind, the components were never that big. So when we saw how massive the penstock and turbines were, I was in a bit of shock. Inside the powerhouse, we went to the underground portion as well. Perhaps due to the darkness and dampness, the place had a spooky vibe to it. Naturally, I did not stay there for long and followed others to the forebay. The intake site was next, and it was a very long walk from the powerhouse. At times, all of this felt rushed. We had to observe all the parts of the project and also turn back on time. Learning in a larger group made things less easy. Regardless of that, I think we all had fun. The sun was already going down when we finished up the observations at the intake, so we filed along to where the bus was waiting for us. And just like that, only one was left. For our tour of construction management, we'd be going to the Tanahun Hydropower Project. Then, we'd have a night stay at Pokhara before we headed back to Kathmandu. For section GH, this was going to be the last one together, so it was special. It was late winter. We were greeted with a beautiful red sky at the campus. This time, the orange bus had been replaced with a blue one. The tour did not start in the most ideal of ways. The bus driver was getting agitated because we were quite past the time of departure and some had still not boarded the bus. A similar instance played in my head when the bus almost left without them. There was a bit of bittersweetness to this bus ride. After this semester, we would all be going our own ways and maybe never even meet again. Thoughts about different ways I'd approach the time I had if I were taken back to the start again coursed through me at times. But I was happy and grateful for the experiences that I had. I was looking forward to how this tour would turn out. Our first one flashed in my head as I looked back and saw some dancing to songs playing on the bus. Since we did not spend a lot of time at the site, maybe this tour was actually not meant to be largely educational, but was more of a little trip so that we all get to spend some good time together to celebrate what we had had and what was to come. Like in the tour prior to this, the enormity of the project was astonishing. We were not given access to the tunnel, so we only observed the dam site and the outlet. After some photos, off we went to Pokhara. We all had different plans for the next morning. Some had planned to stay there for a couple of days and explore the places around. Some had rented scooters to visit nearby spots. I only intended on catching the sunrise and going around Fewa Lake. After dinner, I was getting ready to sleep when I found out that we could go for a walk around the lake. So, I too joined in. Around midnight, near a lake, sitting around a fire and sipping one of the best cups of tea I've ever had, felt like a moment of serendipity. What I did not realize in the darkness of the night was the sheer size of the lake. I gasped when I saw the vapor rising from the surface with the sun rays just hitting the mountains when I went there the next morning. After a light breakfast, we went to the lake again, this time to ride a boat. Despite the haze in the air, the mountains still looked mighty and beautiful. Time was ticking. I could feel a tinge of sadness and gratitude as the boat brought us back to the shore. We would be moving our separate ways soon. The bus back to Kathmandu would be coming by noon. Those who were going back had to be on time. So we scuffled along the footpath to the hotel. There were only about 10 on the bus. The emptiness felt so strange. It made me think if I too should have stayed for some time. But it was too late, and I had other things planned. I thought nothing happened. But as I finished this video, I realized how exciting and fun-filled our final tours were. To those who made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Is there something good you too wish you did but haven't acted on yet? If there's no harm in trying it now, maybe you should give it a go. What if it turns out well?